What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another weekly exciting stream. Usually we do these things at 10 a.m., so sorry we're a little bit late today, but we all just got back from Tampa, the US GW Open, and we are all so excited. Oh my god. I got to play. I haven't played in the US Open yet. I've commentated on like 12 of the things I don't even know. So that was a fun and awesome experience. The boys all played. Even got Richard Ziegler out of his man cave, too, to come do battle today. But you know what? None of us actually took the crown. Today, well, that's not true. I did, in fact, take a Noctil the crown. Who am I talking about? But we'll talk about all that. Today, the story's hero, though, belongs to Jeffrey Caldner with Adepta Sororitas. I don't know where this man came from. I don't know how it happened. That's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to figure out is the story. How the hell did Adepta Sororitas run through the entire Art of War team, go 9-0 through the Shadow Round, and take down a Super Major? No one's talking about Sisters. No one's talking about Jeffrey Caldner. This is a left field victory out of nowhere, and it's so awesome to see. We love to see it. Sisters are actually putting up results all around the world right now, so talk about a faction where maybe you had to figure it out before you got the sauce done, but Jeffrey seems to have figured it all out. So the couple things we want to get through before we get into the meat of this video is the format of the event, which was a little bit different. The US Open Series it's a 290-person tournament this thing was, and then there were 4 rounds of Swiss where you played randomly within people of the same win record as you, and then you sorted yourselves out. The tiebreaker for people with the same record at the end of it was the opponent game win percentage, and that ranked you all out. Once you were ranked, you were put into pods of 32, which became essentially a second tournament. So bracket 1 is the one we're going to be focused on, although BCP labels it all weirdly, which is the app we're using today. Bracket 1 is the top 32 players as of the 4th round, and then those people just basically bash it out for first place. And if you're not in bracket 1, you bash in your own 32-man pods or whatever. John McCardell with gifting 20 Art of War 40k memberships. John, how do you keep doing it? How do you just keep doing it? How do you consistently be the hero, the king, the Lord of Warhammer? John, thank you so much for all of your support. All of you new members of the War Room, definitely check out that Discord. You just gained some awesome insights and some awesome content. Thank you, John McCardell, once more for being the hero of the stream that we all love to see in chat. And let's get right on into it. Actually, I lied to you. Before we get right on into it, let's do one more pitch and plug. Like this video, like it for John McCardell, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for the Emperor. All right, just do it. Just do it. And then check out the War Room. There's a link in the description. 3-day free trial. You know what's up. So, all right. We've got Jeffrey Caldner with the Sisters list, beating our very own Jack Harpster in the finale. Let's just look at what Jeffrey's packing. What is his Sisters list that's got everyone all up in arms? Well, it's the Order of the Eternal Crucible. One thing I gotta say about Jeffrey, he is a hobbyist extreme. He literally, I saw his army, it was gorgeous, and on top of that, he literally named his characters like it's a narrative event. Like, what an all-around all-star. Like, I have nothing to say. Statuary Tender Honest, who's an Imagifier with Litanies of Fate. Order Superior Amelia, that's actually Junith Arita. Prior Sabine, also known as Morven Vol. She's the Warlord. So an Imagifier, Junith, and Morven are your 3 characters so far. Then we've got a Palatine named Purifier Charity, with the Blade of St. Eleanor. In all sincerity, I have not really read the Sisters Index too deeply, so I don't know what a lot of this stuff does. Then we've got Saint Nuria the Reforged, also known as Saint Celestine. So going through the characters one more time: Imagifier, Junith, Morven Vol, Palatine, and Saint Celestine. Then we've got 1, 2, 3 Battle Sister squads with Multi-Melta, Simulacrum, Sister stuff. 2 Immolators, with 1 with the Immolation Flamer, 1 with a twin Multi-Melta. A Retributor squad with 4 Multi-Meltas. Refutation of Dross, which is a Castigator. Rising Purity, which is another Castigator. The Feral, which is a solo Mortifier. And the Fool, the other solo Mortifier. I gotta say, these names are pretty good. I can dig it with these names. The Codbreakers are, of course, the Paragon Warsuits, which Morven Vol joins. 5 Seraphim with some Hand Flamers. 10 Sisters Novitiates. And 2 Death Cult Assassins. And Madeline the Calidus Assassin. Alright. This looks like a very, very unassuming balanced Sisters list. There's nothing that I can spot that's like... This is just like a normal good Sisters list. Played really, 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 really well. I mean, in a Magifier, Junith, Morvenval's a staple, Palatine, Celestine, like good characters all around. Morvenval joins the Paragons. It's a solid unit, got a lot cheaper. 3 sister squads, 2 immolators, a retributor squad, 2 castigators, 2 solo mortifiers, 5 seraphim. They go up and down from reserves, 10 novitiates to like be a cheap screen, 2 death cults, and an assassin. I mean, literally, it's got it all while having nothing at the same time. It's just a really, really honest, good sisters list. I got nothing to say. It's not gimmicky in any capacity. It's not spamming anything. It's not even taking abnormal units. It's just sisters, good stuff, played well. Like, truly. If you ask me how this list won a Super Major, I'm kind of blown away that it did. But that's awesome. Jeffrey Caldner, I mean, wow. That's all I can say, seriously. I don't know what else. I don't think I've ever seen this in my entire life. I played this game for 20 years. This is like, to have something like this win a Super Major. And I gotta say, it's beautifully painted. I saw it in person. And he names his sisters. This guy just loves his sisters. That's so cool. We're gonna try to get him on the Art of War Cup podcast. Hopefully I can interview him and ask him like in detail like how he positioned his models, how he moved his units. You can check that out on our Patreon, AOW40k.com, for that interview. But as of this moment, I am just in awe. I am inspired. Jeffrey, you've done it. Congratulations, my king. I will see you in Atlanta for the US Open Series finale. Very, 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 very well earned. Well, we all know Jeffrey's the GOAT now. So how did he become the GOAT? Who did he defeat? Let's find out. He beat Jack Harpster. Jack Harpster is the current world champion from ITC 2023. What? I mean, all right, how do you break down Jack? Jack is playing World Leaders today. World Leaders have got Angron, Lord Invocatus, World Leaders Lord on Juggernaut with the Favorite of Khorne, a Master of Executions with the Berserker Glaive. This is very, very similar to Anthony Vanille's list, who just went 5-0 at the LGT. Then we got 1 unit of 10 Jackals, a big old unit of 10 Khorne Berserkers, a Rhino for those Khorne Berserkers, 3 8-bound, 6 Exalted 8-bound, and then 2 more packs of 3 Exalted 8-bound. And then fun, awesome choice here by Jack 2 by 2 World Leader Spawn, which are really, really good these days. So this is like a classic World Leaders mixed good stuff list. I mean, every World Leaders player is going to have their own opinions on the right ratios of 8-bounds, how many big units have, how many small units. But this is like generically World Leader's good stuff. He's got good tech. The Master of Executions joins the 10 Berserkers. That unit hits like a literal freight train because of this guy, and they give him 10 bodies to go with, and he gives them always strikes first. I know Jack was running the math by me, and he was like, he can just one-shot the Avatar or something. It's crazy. Juggernaut Lord with the Lord of Khorne. He's here to reroll the 8 dice to determine what your army does that turn, and by that I mean reviving Angron, which, mathematically is a 13% chance before you reroll dice, but by the time you're done rerolling all your dice and the amount of times you rolls, I swear Angron comes back pretty much every turn. That said, in the finale of the game, I did not actually get a chance to watch the full thing, but it is available live on twitch.tv/Warhammer. You can catch the VOD of it. You can also catch 2 games played by Richard Siegler, a game with John, a game with myself, a game with Quentin. You got the whole team on there, so definitely check out those VODs. In this game, Jack's Angron did not come back to life, which obviously is a huge factor in the success of World Leaders, but a real thing with World Leaders is the inconsistency issue that sometimes Angron just doesn't come back to life. And then, that happens. But this is a really great World Leaders army, and the fact that Jack was able to pilot all the way to the finals. One, shows that combat is not dead in this edition. The World Leaders don't shoot, right? Like, they're not a combat army, they are an only combat army. You can run Lords of Skulls and Forge Fiends and stuff, and then they can pretend to have guns. But let's be clear. Jack did not do that. Jack has his only guns are the Rhino has 2 Combi Bolters and a Havoc Launcher. Oh, the Berserkers have 7 bolt pistols and 3 plasma pistols. And these Jackals have some auto pistols. That's it. Those are the only guns this man is asked to. Like, that's it. A couple bolt pistols on characters, which is like 0 guns, like straight 0 guns. He will struggle to kill 10 cultists screening a charge. He has to charge that charge. And the fact that he was able to pilot this army with such finesse all the way to the finale of the tournament just goes to indicate, 1, combat is alive and well, and 2, Jack is a G. Like, what the hell are we talking about? So We all knew that, though. Jack plays a different army every 5 minutes, as evidenced by never playing World Leaders to a tournament before. People say it's a shooting contestant. Jack said, "Hold my beer." Like, whatever, we got this. No shade on Jack for going 7-1, not 8-1, winning the Shadow round as well. Defeating Richard Siegler playing Tau on stream. You can catch that one on twitch.tv/Warhammer. Definitely not going to want to miss that. Actually, I don't know if they streamed that one. I think they streamed me that round. Sorry. But you can catch my game. That's awesome. So then we've got the other players who made top 4 here, which are, our boy Quentin. He lost to Jeffrey in top 4 in the semifinals. Now, Quentin's playing an Eldar list that he's been playing pretty much all season. He made top 4 at the War Master singles in Europe as well, right before WTC. So here we've got the Autarch Wayleaper with a Dragon Fusion Gun, an Avatar of Cain, a Farseer Skyrunner, and a Speartear. A lot of awesome characters, doing awesome character stuff. 1, 2, 3 Night Spinners imported straight from Europe. These bad boys are taking over the meta worldwide. I hate Night Spinners. Join the club. Oh my god, these things are money in Eldar. 5 Shadow Spectres, 5 Swooping Hawks, a Solo Warwalker, and 5 War Spiders. Very eclectic, very Quentin style of MSU nonsense, but, to each their own with it. People be loving this MSU nonsense. And then, of course, to tally it all off, we've got a unit of 10 Wraith Guard with 10 Wraith Cannons. Big, fat army of Wraith Guard and Avatar, standing in the middle, 3 Night Spinners destroying you from far. Ultimate control army, basically. You try to tango in the middle, try to fight over objectives, you're fighting Wraith Guard or an Avatar, which are phantasming and unkillable. So it's like, get screwed. Also, Overwatch in this army is nuts. This Eldar draws cards or needs to score secondary points. They just are in the right spots at the right places. Warp Spiders, Autarch, Wayleaper, Warwalker, Swooping Hawks, they got it all. Not to mention, you're trying to hide from Eldar, we got 3 Night Spinners, we see you. So, it's an amazing army, played beautifully well. Somehow Sisters beat this, also on stream, you can catch that one. But this is a great army. Played super well. He lost the Sisters army. I truly do not know how at all. Like, I wish I could give you more details than that, but that Sisters army is an enigma of science. And I'm going to interview Jeffrey. That's all I can say. I'm going to interview him and I'm going to get those answers. This happened yesterday, folks. Like, it takes some time to get some analysis going. But let's be real. This is amazing. I mean, Jeffrey knocking out Jack and Quentin. Quentin's been playing that other army at world level championships. And this man's coming out of nowhere with the Fool, the Mortifier, coming out, making us look like fools. It's beautiful. You love to see it. And then we've got Nick Herding wrapping up that top 4. Now, Nick Herding, also a player you may not have heard of out of Florida over here. I know him because he's a War Room member and he's on the rise over here. And he's playing Chaos Space Marines. We actually chatted about Chaos Space Marines like not even 2 weeks ago, getting back and forth about list ideas. But this man has copy and pasted Liam Vessel's list, which we did get on the Art of War podcast for an interview. So you can learn exactly how Liam pilots that. I'm pretty sure Nick gave that a listen because Nick showed up with it copy-pasted, and took it all the way to the semifinals and went through yours truly over here in a Chaos Space Premiere. I'm not super proud to say it, but it's true. Nick put me down like the dog I am with really awesome play. Hope maybe my Noctilith Crown was not the meta, maybe. But kudos to Nick making it amazing. Strong but not dominant was the name of his list that I think is actually very fitting for a top 4 performance. But we've got 1, 2, 3 Chaos Lords, 10 Cultists, 2 Chaos Rhinos, 5 Chosen, 10 Chosen, Undivided, all the good stuff. 2 Forge Fiends, 1's Nurgle, 1's Undivided, 2 a Blitz, 1 Nurgles, 1 Undivided, 2 Warp Talons, Slanesh, 3 Nurglings, Selesky, and Blue Scribes. Now, this army is phenomenal, I gotta say. It obviously won London GT last week. It went all the way to top 4 this week of the US Open finale. Not even with the person who wrote it, but, Nick is a very skilled pilot to be able to do such feats. So, Chaos Space Marines, they had a 59% win rate this weekend. It's no surprise they're continuing to kick ass. They are really doing it out here. So, Nick took his loss to Jack in the semifinals. You can actually catch that one as well. on the VOD rewatch. I'm not exactly sure what happened in the details of that game, but long story short here is that Jack is running a rampage with world leaders up until the Lord and Chosen One sisters really just got to the finals here. This is amazing. So as we move through the finale, as we go in reverse time through the bracket, we've got Sasha with his Imperial Fist. Sasha was my other loss this tournament. I went 4-2. Sasha and I had an amazing game. Sasha's a phenomenal player with Space Marines. He always plays Jinky, his own style Space Marine list, and I can actually give you some great details on this one. So he's got Lysander. Now he goes on foot, and he just rapid ingresses this guy in. He actually got my Obliterators down with him. Librarian and Phobos Armor, he's going to join some Infiltrators. Primarius Librarian, and he's going to join up with a unit of 10 Stern Guard, which are pretty cool. Now, of course, this is the old Codex, so some of these things are not going to really exist the same way, but Sasha's a phenomenal player who's able to make it all come together beautifully into a variety of opponents, including my Chaos Space Marines and Eldar, and who knows whatever else he played on the way. Tor Garridan, who even runs Tor Garridan, but he joins these aggressors. You know, everybody knows about aggressors. Sasha even willingly admits he's like it's not as good as the apothecary guy that joins the aggressors, but Tor's the man for Sasha. Unit of 3 Eliminators, 2 units of 3 Eradicators, an Inceptor Squad, another Inceptor Squad. One's got Assault Bolters, one's got Plasma. 2 units of 5 Infiltrators, a 10-man Stern Guard unit, a Thunderfire, 2 Whirlwinds, an Assassin, and 4 Inquisitorial Henchmen. What an army. If anything, I think it really goes to show that the meta right now is so wide. Like, our top 4, top 5 is right now Jack with World Eaters, Jeffrey with Sisters, Nick Herding with Chaos Space Marines, Quentin with Eldar, then Sasha with regular Imperial Fist balanced Space Marines. Sasha I've known for years and years and years, and obviously Jack and Quentin, I can speak for them. They can speak for themselves. But I can tell you every single person in the top 5 that I've gone over, and as we go through Ben Jurek and Hogan Franklin, nothing gets smaller. These are amazing players that play the game phenomenally well. So let's just talk about how right now, if you were a great player, you can pretty much get away with playing almost anything you want and really winning a tournament, it goes to show that 40k is becoming a truly skill-based game instead of a RNG game, which I absolutely love. Like, I feel it, I see it, it's awesome. So, Ben Jurek over here, Ben piloting L's, very similar to Quentin's. He's got Autarch, Farseer, Fugan, Spirit Seer, and the Incarn. Really, really nice package there. See a lot of players going for Fugan these days. I think Fugan's fantastic. There it is, folks. It's here to stay. Triple Night Spinners. Moving on in. Get ready. Get your rhinos out and get shot by Night Spinners. Unit of 3 Shroud Runners. I know we interviewed Ben Jurek a couple of weeks ago on the Art of War podcast talking about his win at Charity Hammer, and he was really a big fan of the Shroud Runners. 5 Swooping Hawks, of Solo Viper, 5 Warp Spiders. The other players, they have the same units. They're all just different shades of themselves. Quentin has 4 Skirmish units. Ben has 4 Skirmish units. Shroud Runners, Hawks, Vipers, Spiders versus Hawks, Warwalkers, Spiders, and Spectres. 2 of these things are the same. Warwalker and Viper are side grades. Shroud Runners and Shadow Spectres are side grades. You see what I'm saying? And then, of course, we got 10 Wraith Guard to slam that out. Awesome army. Ben on the way up, unfortunately, actually lost to... Let's find out. I believe Sasha, but I could be mistaken. Ben's... Oh... There's not a good way to do this. This is the bracket system. Oh, he beat Sasha in the 7th round. He lost to Nick Herding in the 6th round. That's what it was. So in the 6th round, this is where, the whole tournament is playing, because once it cuts to top 8, there are 8 top 8s for every pod, but beyond that, people aren't really playing as much. A lot of drops in the GW format. But here you can see a lot of our other Bracket 1 members. This is where there are 32 people in our Bracket 1, so this will give you a real big spectrum of Bracket 1. There's also a Shadow Round, which isn't covered by BCP, so shadowy things. So yes, Ben lost in the Shadow Round, I believe, to Nick Herding. I'm almost positive of that. Unfortunately, there's no data for the Shadow Round that I can find, but I was physically there for some amount of Shadow Round. Then I went out and got dinner and didn't play a Shadow Round. But I believe the pairings for the Shadow Round were John versus our sister's player, John Lennon. We're of course going to go through John's sister's list, or John's Tyranid list, because John is a sister's player and was talking mad smack about sisters, and that is what happened. Ben Jurek, in fact, did lose by definition, chat, because he did not win this tournament. Where he lost, I believe, was the Shadow Round. Then we've got who else in the Shadow Round played? We had Jack in the Shadow Round. He played Hogan. Hogan was our Tyranid player who did make it over here into round 7. And his list was also Tyranids, showing off that very balanced, different meta we're looking at. So Hogan was playing a Synaptic Nexus called the Norn Identity. Yep, that checks out. Because he had a Flying Tyrant with a Psychostatic Disruption, 1, 2, 3, 30 Gargoyles, a Solo Biovore, 2 Maleceptors, 2 Neurolictors, and then 1, 2, 3 Norns, 2 Pyrovores, 2 Rippers. This is the definition of a stat check. It's also got some tricks and jank to it, like 30 Gargoyles, Biovore, and 2 Neurolictors, and your secondaries and your primary is going to be good. The Gargoyles are phenomenal move blockers, objective contesters. Biovore score all your secondary points. Neurolictors keep your objectives safe by forcing battle shocks when people try to contest yours. And they're amazing lone ops for helping out your secondary game as well. And then on top of that, we've got 1, 2, 3 Norns standing on for 15 OC on every midfield objective, just being like, you can't kill this. While Maleceptors are also blasting you to smithereens. And there's a Flyrant, because why wouldn't there be a Flyrant? This is an amazing Tyranid list. It's stat checking the crap out of you, and it got all the way up to Jack before it got checked. So super awesome performance by Hogan as well, who I might add is an up-and-comer and a war member too, so kudos to Hogan. So as we go through, Michael Fox versus Colin Watts here. Michael Fox is always one of those best painted type of players. Colin did amazingly well with a Tyranid army here. That is a little bit jankier. It's the Vanguard Onslaught. He's got Death Leaper, a Neuro Tyrant, a Winged Hive Tyrant, and a Tyranid Prime. 4 different characters. Of course, there's Biovore, 2 Exocrines, and a Neurolictor. 6 Raveners, 6 Raveners, 6 Raveners. Who is even talking about the Raveners? A Ripper, a big unit of Warriors, and then 3 squads of Ryan Sleepers. Colin is playing super janky, super aggro all over the board Tyranids and is killing people out here with them. In fact, killing Michael Fox, who's got Astra Militarum. Gaunt's Ghosts, Lord Solar Leontis, a Platoon Command Squad, Engine Seer, Tank Commander, Cadians, Jungle Fighters, Rough Riders, Bulgren, 2 Cyclops. This is a very one-of-everything, beautifully painted masterpiece, and the fact that Michael is just putting up wins after wins after wins, getting into top bracket with it, goes to reinforce the idea that you can really play whatever you want and do well. Scions to Deep Strike, Scout, Solar Scout, Sentinels to do actions and screen. He's really playing a good guard army here with the Lemonos Exterminators. It's like a one-of-everything stylist. Quentin beating Sean Rice in round 6. Sean's got Space Marines, Apothecary Biologists, 2 of them, a Librarian Phobos army, Marnie's Calgar, and Uriel Ventress. He's got 2 Aggressor squads joined by those Apothecaries. I don't think I've ever seen double Aggressor, but that sounds terrifying. A lot of a squad of Inceptors, Infiltrators, a couple Land Speeders, some Scout Snipers, Storm Speeder, Hailstrike, and then 1, 2, 3 Whirlwinds and a Calidus. So that's what this army is really backed up by. 3 Whirlwinds, old Seal of Oath to get reroll wounds, and double Aggressors if you try to tango in the middle. Awesome army. Jack putting the dumpster into Drew Rhodes over here. This is Death Guard. This was the undefeated people going into round 6, of course. 1, 2 biology professors, a Chaos Lord. I love the Chaos Lord. That man just reigns mortals. A Lord of Virulence, Mortarian, Tallyman for some CP, and Typhus. 2x10 Plague Marines. Very interesting. You don't typically see 2x10. They're probably joined by the biology professors. Get those lethal hits on 5s. Beautiful combo. 1 Rhino. Figured I would see 2, but 1 Rhino. Some Cultists, a unit of 3 Death Shrouds, a Bloat Drone with a Flesh Mower, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers, and 20 Poxwalkers for Typhus. Really awesome army. Unfortunately, Jack ran it right over this round, as World Leaders do. Sasha's Imperial Fist, smoking Chaos Space Marines. We'll just take a look real quick at what this Chaos Space Marine list is. Abaddon, double Chaos Lord, 10 cultists, 1 rhino, 5 chosen, 5 chosen. So 2 chosen lord packages in a rhino. Forge Fiend, 4 triple Forge Fiend, 6 Obliterators, Warp Talons, and a unit of Nurglings. This army is pain brought to you by who played this? Colin Cochran. Oh my god, that army is pain in a can. Sasha just 100 to 30ing it, absolute monster. I mean, let's look at Sasha's list again, just because, like, how did he even do that? I played Sasha. The fact he's getting 100 to 30 points on this man is ludicrous. That's wild. This was the ritual. Round 6 was the ritual was the mission, meaning this is an objective placement one. It is very possible that army sucks at doing action, so that's one consideration. But Sasha over here with Lysander, a Phobos Libby, a Primaris Libby, Tor Garridan, 6 aggressors, 3 eliminators, eradicators, 2 Inceptor squads, infiltrators, a unit of 10 Stern Guard, a Thunderfire, 2 Whirlwinds, a Calidus, and some henchmen. What an amazing Space Marine list to go undefeated with that. So we're not 6 rounds of undefeated at that. As we move through our top 32, hey, I played Mark Barry. We can't not talk about this. So I was running. I really took an altitude. I really did, folks. Last week in the tier list, I said I would because Quentin dared me, and I was like, I will, and then I did. I ended up going 4-2. I lost to Sasha in Swiss, but still made the top cut with my tiebreakers. And then I lost to Nick Herding playing the Liam Vessel London GT list in a really, really, really close game. Lost by 5 after failing some battle shocks and some fortunate charges. But you don't blame the dice, you blame the player. I could have played better. I could have also not took a crown. So lesson learned that way. Abaddon Despoiler, Cypher, and a Heretic Astartes Demon Prince with Intoxicating Elixir. You know I love this guy. Unit of 10 cultists, unit of 10 cultists, unit of 20 cultists, 3 Chaos Bikers, a Predator Annihilator, a Forge Fiend Undivided, a Nurgle Hellbrute, the Crown for the King, 4 Obliterators, 3 Nurglings, and Selesky. Really, really, it's got strong stuff in this list. It's all about how it comes together on the table. Really awesome army. I'm going to just keep refining it, keep playing it, and taking it 2 more turns. Got a question about the crown. Yes, it is wholly within to get the buff for the crown, so its model's wholly within there. Mark Perry bringing out his World Eaters. His has got a very different style. Wished he had more Jackals for Tampa Open. That's the name of the list. He's got Ingron, Lord and Mercadus, and World Eaters Demon Prince. 10, 20, 30, 40 Jackals. 1, 2, 3, 40 Jackals. I know Mark wanted 60 of these things. But 40 Jackals. 2x3 8-bound, 3 exalted 8-bound, 3 exalted 8-bound, 3 exalted 8-bound. So 5 squads of 3 8-bound, 3 squads of 2 spawns. Super MSU World Eaters. The Demon Prince on foot gives all these Jackals 4+ invulnerable saves. Then use the Corn rolls, the Warp Storm for Corn, to give all those Jackals 5+ Feel and Pain. Those Spawn get 4+ Feel and Pain. The Exalted 8-bound get 5+ Feel and Pain. It's a super durable, super fast, just awesome World Eaters army. I think people are sleeping on the Jackal Horde. I was able to defeat this by essentially putting Mark in Cultist jail because this was actually the game the Crown did the best in. They just rocking up 4+ invulnerable saves on Cultists and move blocking Mark all over the place to keep him from getting in contact with Abaddon and the Obliterators and the Forge Fiend while just blowing him up turn after turn after turn. It's a really amazing game there. Hunter Nichols also getting in top 32 with Astra Meltarum. Hunter here is playing a bunch of Death Corps characters, Gaunt's Ghost, Lord Solar Leontis, Platoon Command Squad, a lot of characters. You take Assassinate against this man and it will work. I'm the guard now. Sun is the title. So tons of characters all over the place. Unit of Shock Troops, Death Corps Recree, a lot of Death Corps. 3 squads of Death Corps with the characters, really awesome. 20-man units of Death Corps right here. This is Horde Guard at their finest, joined by all these Psychers to give them 4+ invulnerable suits. This is tough, durable, infantry-based guard. Backing in front of that is 2 Basilisks, 2 Manticores, 3 Manticores, 2 Basilisks, 3 Manticores, and a Master of Ordnance and an Assassin. So, artillery with infantry standing in front and action doers about. Awesome army. Hunter making top 32 is great. Willie Pappas, our orc player over here, making top 32. He's got... I always click the wrong button. It's very easy to click the wrong button in BCP. I will tell you that. Willie Pappas with orcs. He's got... Beast Boss on Squigosaur, Gazgul Thraka, and a Nob on Smasher Squig. 20 Beast Snagger boys, 20 regular boys, 2 trucks to house these things, 20 grots, a hunter rig. I have never seen a hunter rig. I pretty much only see kill rigs competitively. That's a really cool choice. Maybe the price point is different. 5 commandos. I'm sorry, 10 commandos. 10 commandos, 5 mega knobs, a nice fat 6-man Squig Hog unit for that knob on Squigosaur, 5 Storm Boys, 5 Storm Boys. So it looks like all of the Orkies are running straight at you. I mean, this is like a normal Orc army, right? Like Beast Boss and Squigosaur, Beast Boss, Gaz Mega Knobs, a bit of a flare choice, 2 trucks. It runs at you. It's Orcs. Going through top 32 a little bit more, we've got Andy Powell with Dark Angels. Andy's got Terminator Captain, Deathwing Strike Master, Deathwing Strike Master. I wonder who they're going to join. 2 big bricks of Deathwing Knights, then a 5-man Deathwing Knight. This man likes Deathwing Knights. A unit of Eliminators. These are nice, cheap units that can do actions and stuff. Infiltrate. 2 Inceptors. They're both Bolter Inceptors. I guess you don't need more anti-tank when you have 25 Deathwing Knights. And, of course, an Assassin. He took a loss to Brian LaCour with World Leaders. Can we talk about how there's World Leaders all over the place? Where do these World Leaders come from? Why are there World Leaders everywhere? It's literally Anthony Vanilla. He went out to the LGT and was like, guys, World Leaders are actually good. Let me go 5-0 before losing to Manny Chima with them in a nail-biter of a game. Basically, he had to drop him for top 8 of LGT either way, but it's super impressive what he was able to pull off with that army. And then everyone found out, and everyone started taking World Leaders, and that's literally what happened. So the show/hide options, Corn Demons, are still visible, whatever that means. Angron, Karn the Betrayer, Lord and Goddess, Juggernaut, Lord, World Eaters, Master of Executions with a Berserker Glaive. This is, I think, the exact same setup as as Anthony actually. Jack omitted Karn. This guy's going for Karn. But we've got 3 units of 5 Berserkers. You don't usually see that breakdown, but, whatever. They seem fine. Unit of 3 8-bound, unit of 6 exalted 8-bound, so less 8-bound than usual. A Rhino to has 10 of the Berserkers, and insert a Bloodthirster here. Now, you don't really see a Bloodthirster often, ever at all, but that army is awesome. Now, I know Brian, he's a good buddy of mine, and Brian is a painter, and he's here going for really, really, really awesome looking models. And the reason he included that Bloodthirster is quite literally because it's like his most favorite asbestos model. And the fact that he's still making top 16 with this is really phenomenal. He actually lost in top 32, but then this is his result of that 6th round. Ben Sherwin, Black Templars. Ben is a top player, also qualified for Worlds, so he's just showing up with Templars over here, giving his Black Templars their last World before the new Codex. Castellan, High Marshal Hellbricht, Crusader Squad, a Lancer, 2 Eradicator Squads, Inceptors, Land Raider Redeemer, Sword Brethren, Redemptor, Whirlwind, and Callus. Now, I know he put Mark Perry down in top 32 and then went on to actually win this game with a very, very beefy all-in Black Templars list. But he lost this one only to Nick Herding by a 4-point, super narrow, very tight loss. Nick had a 5-point win versus me and a 4-point win versus Ben the next game. That guy is living on a razor's edge, but congratulations to Nick for doing it. As we move through, we got Brian Jones. He's got Knights sneaking in top 32. How does that even happen? Brian Jones, one of the strongest Knight players in the world right here. Canis Rex, Cerastus Knight Lancer, Knight Crusader, 2 Armature Warglaives, a Callid Assassin, Eversor Assassin, and Inquisitorial Henchman. He's not even spamming little knights or big knights. He's really just taking a knight army. Like he is a knight player. Like his knights, each knight has a story. I'm sure each knight is gorgeous. He always does way better than knights' win rate will lead you to believe they should be doing. But really phenomenal play here. He played against Doug Hessington, which is someone I played quite a few times. Doug's got a Apothecary Biologist, Bjorn the Fell-Handed, Captain Terminator, and a Librarian Filmus Arbor, Murderfang, and a Primaris Segment. Well, kudos to bring Murderfang, Bjorn. I love that. Unit of 6 Aggressors, 1-2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts, Manzaron Dreadnoughts, triple Infiltrators. All right, no GSC coming into my house. A unit of 10 Terminators, a Thunderfire, some Voidsman at arms. Really, really amazing army by Doug here. Great performance, making top 32 with Wolves. You'd love to see that. Ben, we already took a look at Ben's list. Very, very, very similar to Quentin's. He played against Nicholas, who was running... where'd it go? He's playing against Nicholas, who is running Thousand Suns. Nicholas is running Armon, Infernal Master with Arcane Vortex for extra damage, Infernal Master with Lord of the Forbidden Lore, which will give you access to doing something as second Cabal, or the same Cabal twice rather. Magnus the Red, a Demon Prince on foot, and a Sorcerer and Terminator armor. Unit of 10 rubrics to units of 5 rubrics. Unit of 10 Terminators is all in on damage, and just one unit of Lighten to attempt to play the mission. All gas, no breaks should be the name of that army. Unfortunately, it needed probably some breaks to fight Ben. Charles Barber with Tyrannid sneaking into top cut with Death Leaper, Hive Tyrant, and Old One Eye. 2 units of 10 Gargoyles, a Biovore, unit of 2 Carnifexes with the Death Spitters. This is, of course, Invasion Fleet. 3 Exocrines, 2 Maleceptors, 3 Neurolictors, a unit of 3 Raveners, and 2 Ripper Swarms. Really, really strong Tyrannid army. Love the Old One Eye and 2 Carnifex combo. I don't know why Tyrannid players aren't running like 40, 50 Gargoyles, but 20 definitely seems like a staple. Really great army here from Charles. He met his end in the former round, though. Let's actually take a look at that form. Well, let's not, because then I'm going to lose my place. But he met his match in the former round, I believe. But he did play Dylan Williamson, who made top cut with more orcs. This one's featuring Captain Badruck, Mazrog Scragbad, Nabon Smash-a-Squig, Painboy, and a Warboss. 3 trucks, big unit of flash kits for that Badruck to go in. Grots to do Grot stuff. 2 10-man knobs. Those are awesome. Everyone's running knobs. This is 9 knobs with Power Claws. They smash people. And then 12 Squig Hogs, 6-3-3. And then 15 Storm Boys to round out. This is an awesome orc army, very all-in on pressure, but with some more balanced forces with the Captain Badruck and Flash Kids combo. Really loving the army here from Dylan. As we go through, we've got Jeffrey. He's our sister's hero, defeating John in a 1-point nail-biter game in the Shadow Round. Now, the details to this game are a little lost to the void because of the nature of the Shadow Round, unfortunately. But John right here just took down Crucible, going through myself, Richard, Jack, and Quentin in absolutely one of the most impressive runs in a tournament in history. He did all of that and now lost to Sisters of Battle by 1 point. He even beat Richard Siegler again this tournament. It's amazing. Death Leaper, Hive Tyrant with a Venom Cannon. He's playing Invasion Fleet, so he switched from Nexus to Invasion, but that's because of the way Games Workshop ruled. The CP reroll not being able to be made free and double used by the Hive Tyrant. So that one change actually got John to entirely change his sub-faction. So Death Leaper, a Hive Tyrant, a Neuro Tyrant, 20 Gargoyles, Biobore, 3 Exocrines, 2 Maleceptors, 3 Neurolictors, double Pyrovores, 9 Zoanthropes. Pain Train cometh. Now, you're not really seeing a lot of Tyrant players running Zoanthropes, but John is still on it with the Zones. As we go further down, we've got Chris Elfies with Yanari versus Riel Long's Blood Angels. Blood Angels going all the way to top 32. I have no anti-tank, all caps. That is the title of his army. James Ford is saying, was it all just favorable matchups? I don't think you can say it's just favorable matchups. The man hit Jack, Quentin, and John featuring World Eaters, Eldar, and Tyranids. You don't get 3 more distinctly different armies played by phenomenal players. So no, to say anything was luck on the side of Jeffrey over here would be really ignorant to the fact that he's got to be a phenomenal player. Apothecary Biologist, Lamarties, Primaris Lieutenant, Primaris Tech Marine, 6 Aggressors, a big unit of 10 Death Company with 10 Thunderhammers. I feel like that's anti-tank, personally, but that's just me. Unit 10 Hellblasters. Seems like some anti-tank also. Unit of 3 Plasma Scepters, 5 Infiltrators, a Librarian Dreadnought. I don't even know what that does these days, but I think that's super cool. Couple Redemptors. There's some anti-tank there. I hate to break it to you. 5 Sniper Scouts and 5 Regular Scouts. You rarely see Regular Scouts. So this is a really interesting army. It is Space Marine Blood Angels. The fact that Blood Angels are here making top 32 is fantastic. Congratulations to Riel. He played against Chris. Elfie Garcia, who's got the Incarnate and Ivrain, the Cat Lady. Oh, would you look at that? 1, 2, 3 Night Spinners. Eldar players, come on. 5 Rangers, 5 Shadow Specters, 5 more Shadow Specters. 5 more Shadow Specters. 15 Shadow Specters in this man. And 15 Swooping Ox. Sorry. 15 Swooping Ox, 15 Shadow Specters. I see a theme. I see War Spiders. Will I see just one unit of War Spiders? You really teased me right there and let me down. Alright, so 15 Ox, 15 Shadow Specters, 5 Spiders. Here it is, 15 Scourges. Lots of MSU infantry, Yanari, probably with an Incarn bouncing from place to place to place to place to place all over the board. Really cool army usage there. And then to round out our top 32, we've got Daniel Herbert versus Skylar Quinn. Daniel's got Imperial Fists as well, so 2 Imperial Fists making top 32. Apothecary Biologist, Captain Gravis Armor, Captain Term Center, and Tor Garadon. A 10-man Assault Intercessor Squad, a 5-man Assault Intercessor Squad, a 5-man Heavy Intercessor Squad, a regular Intercessor Squad. That's so cool, running all those Intercessors. That is so cool. 6-man Aggressors, a Ballista Shred Eradication Squad, 2 Gladiators, 2 5-pack Terminators. Really, really awesome army. MSU, Space Marines, Foot, Imperial Fist. I don't know how Sasha and Daniel are doing it, but they're making top bracket. Barely losing to Skylar Quinn. Skylar's a great player. This time pulling out World Eaters again. You know, so many World Eaters in top 32. Angron, Karn, Juggerlord, Master of Executions with the Glaive. 20 Jackals, 2 units of 10 Berserkers, 2 Rhinos for the Berserkers, and then 2 by 6 8-bound Exalted 8-bound. So really, really, you know, variations of themselves style of World Eaters list. Last to finish our top 32, we got Nick Fuller, who has got Death Leaper, a Hive Tyrant, a Neuro Tyrant, and a Wing Tyrant Prime, 10 Gargoyles, 10 Ormagons, 5 Barb Guns, 5 Barb Guns, a Biovore, 2 Neurolictors, 3 Raveners, 5 Tyranid Warriors, or 6, 6 Ryan's Leapers, 2 Ripper Swarms, and 3 Exocrines and a Mouse to run it out. So it's a Vanguard Onslaught. More big bugs than we saw on Colin's list, who did very well. Colin Watts winning, I believe, 6-0 before losing in the Shadow Round, with very interesting Tyranids over here. 18 Raveners, 18 Reapers. This one's a little more mainstay with triple Exocrine, but no shocker how either of them got so far. And then as we go into round 5, just to complete our top 32, you'll see Richard Siegler losing to Jack Harpster here. And the reason you're not seeing Richard Siegler further down the tournament is because he did drop after round 5. And the reason was actually because of a ruling and how it all worked. So basically, just going through Richard's list. Commander Farsight, Commander Shadowsun, and a Cold Star with Fusion Blasters, an Exemplar of the Callion. Now, Siegs is he's teaching a Tau coaching series right now in our war room. And you can also see what he is doing with this stuff in that coaching class. But he's got 1, 2, 3 units of 10 Breachers, 1, 2, 3 Delphish, and after this event, he wants to go up to 6 and 6. Unit of 6 Crisis Suits with Fusion Blasters, and 1 guy has some Cyclics. And then a unit of 6 Crisis Suits with Ion Blasters. And then 4 Crude Hounds, Pathfinder team, Piranha, Tetra. So Richard had a great tournament. He had a rough one, too. He lost to John Swiss, still made top 32, played Jack first round top 32, lost to Jack. But what happened in his game with Jack was that Jack was playing World Eaters, Rich was playing Tau. Jack connected close combat with all of his Crisis Suits. Richard went to go Overwatch with all of his powerful guns, because they're vehicles, and vehicles can shoot into close combat. Right then there, there's active judging going on at Games Workshop tournaments, called Richard out, and he was like, hey, you can't actually Overwatch with vehicles in the Overwatch step of the charge phase. And Richard's like, well, why not? I'm a vehicle, I can shoot into close combat. I'm able to Overwatch once a unit has completed their charge. They are an eligible unit to shoot at the unit that just charged them because they're vehicles. And the long story short from Jeremy, who was the judge on the floor, was essentially, it's about timing and when you can use additional rules. The rule that allows vehicles to shoot at units in close combat is a rule, and I have not read into this myself. Let me just paraphrase for everybody here. I believe the ruling goes like the rule that allows vehicles to shoot into Overwatch in close combat, shoot in close combat is only available in the shooting phase. Since the Overwatching is the charge phase, rules that would trigger in the shooting phase for those shooting effects don't work, so the Crisis Suits cannot actually Overwatch in that moment. Now, whether or not this cost Richard or Jack the game, kind of irrelevant in the moment, because what happened here was Richard then went to apologize to every single opponent he played and did this to, because he was like, I've done this all tournament long. I've done this to like 3 or 4 people. He apologized to everybody and dropped from the event because he was like, I feel really bad about misplaying the rules or misunderstanding the interaction. So he took an honorable drop. Now, save your feelings for whether or not you think players should drop or not. That's not really what this is about. I just wanted to clarify what happened there with Richard and that going on. So no ill intent whatsoever from our Farsight Daddy. And that's pretty much it, though. That's our top 32 of the Tampa Open, somehow won by sisters. Really, whoopsies, super exciting game from Tampa over here. So what we're going to do with all this information is save it and talk about it and keep it and learn from it. So to me, it tells you that the game is wild, the game is open, the numbers of things that are viable is like larger than they've ever been before. Most of these people are getting ready to go to the world finale in a couple of weeks, myself included, so we really got to get our stuff together to figure out what we're going to play and do all that stuff. Super exciting time to be playing Warhammer. Honestly, the meta has never been healthier. It is so good. So we're going to try our darndest to get Jeffrey on to talk about his sisters and how he did it. How was he able to beat John, Jack, and Quentin? How was he able to beat the entire field? How do you go 9-0 with Sisters of Battle while naming the units in his army? We're going to break it all down and talk about the whole thing. So stay tuned, everybody. We got tons of more content for you. And if you're interested in some of those breakdowns, you can check our podcast out on AW40k.com. You can click the subscribe button here to stay notified about when we produce content, which is every single day. You can like the video and you can leave a comment telling us what you thought. Also check out The War Room. We've got a 3-day free trial going on right now, thewarroom.vhx.tv. That is a link to our subscription site where we teach you all about how to get better at Warhammer and how to consistently be in the top cuts of tournaments. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we'll catch you later.